Good morning. Welcome to today's session. Today we are going to see the lesson Journey to the End of the Earth by Tishani Doshi. This lesson revolves around the world's most preserved place, the Antarctica. Not many people have been there, but out of the few that have, Tishani Doshi is one of them. A South Indian writer, novelist, poet, and a dancer, she's a very versatile personality. She went on an expedition with a group of teenagers affiliated with the Student on Ice program, which takes young minds to think and explore different corners of the world. Thus, this lesson gives an insight how Antarctica is a place you should visit to have a glimpse of the past, present, and the future in its realistic form. Let's know something more about the author. Tishani Doshi was born in 1975 to a Welsh mother and a Gujarati father. She studied business administration and communication from the US. She moved to London in 1999. She worked as an assistant in an advertising agency of Harper & Queen magazine. She returned to India where she decided to learn dancing from the famous choreographer Chandralekha. Now, she currently works as a freelance journalist, contributing to various newspapers such as The Guardian, International Herald Tribune, Hindu, and the New Indian Express. To know more about this poet and dancer, click on this YouTube link and watch it. It's very interesting where she delivers 3 of her poems and also has displayed her skill of dancing. Do watch it. Now, let's do a pre-reading task. You see the images on the screen and you've seen the title of this lesson. Now, guess what is the theme of this lesson, going by the pictures and going by the title. We also read the introduction. So going by the introduction, the pictures and the title of the lesson, guess the theme. Now, let's move into the lesson. Take 5 minutes and read the text. I have given you some word meanings on the right-hand side. Use them to understand the text. The first para. Tishani Doshi, along with the young minds on the Student on Ice program, start their journey to Antarctica. It takes them 100 hours of travel by car, ship and plane to reach the continent. After such a tedious journey, they reach Antarctica and their first emotion is relief, followed by absolute wonder. They were astonished to see that India and Antarctica were once geographically connected. Now that you've read the first para, let's do a small task related to the text. I've given you some words. Find the equivalent words from the text and also note down the answers for the questions. Take your time. The answers for the words. Let's know some interesting facts about Antarctica. One of the most interesting facts about Antarctica is the contradiction between the dry climate and the amount of water. Even the hottest desert in the world sees more rain than the dry valleys, a region in Antarctica. This continent is the driest place on the planet. Antarctica also contains most of the world's fresh water and buried mountain range. Some interesting facts about Antarctica includes the extreme weather, the large size of landmass and massive sheet of ice covering the ground. The most remote and recently discovered continent surrounds the South Pole, the point at the southern end of the Earth's axis. Antarctica is the 5th and the largest southernmost continent, covering 5 million square miles. To know more fun and fascinating facts about Antarctica, do visit this link given in this slide and enjoy reading. Part 2 of the text. Take 5 minutes to read the text along with the help of the word meanings that is given on the right side. So millions of years ago, there was a supercontinent known as Gondwana, from which Antarctica and India are supposed to have been parted off. The situation, however, was completely different from how it is right now. There was no humans and the climate was warmer, which gave rise to huge varieties of flora and fauna. Gondwana flourished for 500 million years until the dinosaurs got extinct and human beings came into existence. The huge continent was then forced into segregation to form countries and the world as we know today. According to the author, if one wants to get a glimpse of the history And from where we have originated, along with where we are headed, Antarctica is the right place to go. It is the best place to research and understand the mountain ranges and low elevation continents, ozone and carbon evolution and extinction. It is capable of giving an insight of the future that can be really startling and shocking. So let's do a task before we move ahead. There's some words which you can find equivalent words from the text, and also note down the answers for these questions, the answers. So we move on to the part 3 of the lesson. Take 5 minutes to read the text with the help of the meanings given below. So for our sun worshipping South Indian author or any other person, it is hard to be living in a place where 90% of the Earth's total ice volumes are stored. Not only biologically or physically it is difficult, but to even imagine such a thing, it's very, very difficult. A place untouched by human and their inventions. It gives you an experience that makes you forget about all other things. From small creatures like midgets and mites to huge creatures like blue whales and icebergs, as big as the countries, everything can be found in Antarctica. Days are never ending with sunlight falling all the time on the southern hemisphere. It is such a quiet place, it is interrupted only by the falling mass of snow rapidly on the mountain. It is a setting that forces you to ponder upon Earth's geological history and helps you to foresee future, which for humans is not going to be very pleasant. Now that we've understood the text so far, let's move into a small task again. Find the word meanings and also answer the questions given. The answers for you displayed. So we move to the part 4 of the lesson. Take 5 minutes to read the text. Some word meanings are given to you for help. So what do we have here? Human life on Earth has been around for 12,000 years now. In this short time, we have successfully managed to create a ruckus, exploit each and every resource, creating a chaos in the nature. The ever-increasing human population is robbing other species of their necessity to survive. Not to forget the unlimited exploitation of fossil fuels that has created carbon dioxide around our planet, which is further increasing the average global temperature, leading to the dreaded global warming. Global warming and climate change are a high priority concern these days. Questions like melting of Antarctica sheet, disruption of Gulf Stream ocean, and how the world will end still remains unanswered. Regardless, Antarctica remains an important part, not only because it is untouched by humans, but also because the ice cores 500,000-year-old carbon records trapped in the layers of ice. According to the author, if one wishes to study and analyze the Earth's past, present and future, Antarctica is the place to go. So now, if you understand the text so far, let's do task 6. Find out the word meanings and answer the questions below. You can always go back, read the text and listen to the explanation and then do the task. The answers displayed for you. Moving to part 5 of the lesson, take 5 minutes to read the text. Some weird meanings are given for you for help. You can always refer the dictionary or surf the net to find the meanings. This program talks about the Student on Ice program. As discussed before, the author Tishani Doshi visited Antarctica on this expedition program. The Student on Ice program is headed by the Canadian Geoff Green, who decided to take up this program. His vision was to inspire the young minds to think and explore the end of the world, to understand and sensitize towards the climate change and global warming. This program was immensely successful in its vision because the real experience of actually seeing the place than sitting back at home and reading about it is totally different. It gives you the glimpse of the future and makes you believe the threat of global warming is real. Let's do another small task to check your understanding of the text so far. Given here are some words. Find equivalent words and answer the questions. The answers for you displayed here. To know more about the Student on Ice program, do click these links and read about it. It is very, very interesting. Moving to part 6 of the text. Take 5 minutes to read the text. Word meanings are not given, but you can surf the net to find any difficult word to know its meaning. But I'm sure you will be able to connect the text. Antarctica is one of those places with limited biodiversity and thus has a less complicated ecosystem. As a result, little changes in the environment can have drastic effects. For instance, the microscopic phytoplankton are grasses of the sea that sustains the entire Southern Ocean's food chain. Now, it has recently been concluded by scientists that a further depletion in the ozone layer can affect the activities of these single-celled plants and affect the marine life altogether. Thus, in this case, the saying comes true, take care of small things and big things will fall in place. Another task for you before we move ahead, do try it for better understanding. The answers here for your help. Part 7 and the last part of the lesson. Take 5 minutes to read the text before we discuss it. So, it took these expeditors along with our author Tishani Doshi, the 9 time zones, checkpoints and various bodies of water to reach Antarctica all the way from Madras. The author wonders what it would be if Antarctica, that houses 90% of the world's ice, becomes warm again. Will she be alive to see it? But I'm sure the young mind, after seeing the place, has the courage to save the world. Let's hope the end of the world, the earth, does not happen. A similar task to check your understanding before we move ahead. The answers displayed for your help. The summary of the whole story for you to read. Tishani Doshi traveled to the southern end of the earth along with the expedition group named Student on Ice that provides opportunity to young minds to sensitize towards realistic versions of climate change happening in the world. According to the founder of the organization, Geoff Green, students are the young versions and future policy makers who can turn the current situation around. Antarctica is one of the coldest, driest and windiest continent in the world. As far as eyes can see, it is completely white and its uninterrupted blue horizon gives an immense relief. It is shocking to believe that India and Antarctica were of the same supercontinent, Gondwana, that got segregated into countries, giving rise to the globe we know today. Antarctica has a warmer climate until then. Despite human civilizations around the globe, it still remains in its pure form. Being a South Indian sun-worshipping person, it was unimaginable for the author to visit the place that constitutes world's 90% of the ice and a place so quiet that it is only interrupted by the falling of snow on the mountain, the avalanches. It is a home to a lot of evidences that can give us a glimpse of the past, and at the same time, Antarctica helps us to foresee the future. The place gives an awakening to the threatening alarm of the global warming is actually real. Who knows if Antarctica will be warm again, and even if it does, will we be alive to see it? Think about it. Before we end the lesson, here is a short writing activity for you. Imagine you're one of the 52 participants in the academic showcase ski that went to Antarctica as a part of Student on Ice program. Your program is about to be over and your ship will return within a day or two. Before you return, you decide to make an article for your school magazine. Write an article of your findings, experiences, feelings, apprehensions about the past, present, and future in the world in about 150 words. So that's Journey to the End of the Earth by Tishani Doshi. Thank you for watching.